Good morning to all of you. Let us continue the design of combined footing. You can observe here. I'll just I'll just go through this. I'll just revise this one. Whatever we have done in the previous steps, you can observe here what we have done so far. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Am I audible to all of you? You can unmute and tell. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us see this one here. So what we have done so far, you observe here. Design of a combined footing for two columns. As I told you, the necessity was when columns are very close to each other, if I design separate footings, they will overlap. When the bearing capacity of the soil is low, and you can see when the property line, when one of the column is very close to the property line, so the footing cannot encroach the other property, somebody else's property. So if that is the case, so when these in case of such situations, we go for combined footing for two columns. So here you can see this one. Number of steps you can see where we are right now. I'll show you right now where we are. You can see this one. As you can observe, this size of columns will be given, load acting will be given. Usually service load is given, not the factor load. You have to carefully read the problem, whether the given problem is service or factor. In any case, you have to find out service load. If factor load is given, divide by 1.5, because service load related calculations are there. Now step number 1 is proportioning of footing. Centroid of column loads must coincide with centroid of footing. That is the condition for step number 1. E1 plus x bar is equal to L by 2. Before then x bar is P2 L by P1 P2. As I told you, Verigman's theorem it is. So get x bar, substitute here, find the value of L. Similarly, you can find the width also. Load divided by SBC. You'll get area. In that area, L is already fixed. You can get the value of B. Now you can see net upward pressure calculations. We have done this one. I've explained how to find out how to draw this fast way of drawing the shear force and bending moment diagrams. Then how to locate the pointer of contraflexure x1 and x2. How to find the maximum hogging moment which is in between the columns. Then depth of footing from one-way shear considerations. Now observe here. Once you find out L and B, your next step is to find the depth of the footing. So you can look at this one. Step 3 and step 4 are related to depth of footing. So step 3, depth of footing from one-way shear considerations is done. So step 4 is check for the adequacy of the depth from other two considerations. It means when you decide the depth, maybe 650 or 700 like that. For these problems, it is in between 650 and 700 mm. You can see here depth of footing from one way is calculated, and the same depth whatever is calculated, is it safe? Is it safe against bending moment and against two-way shear? We have to check that. So the usual method in the textbooks they follow is they first from bending moment they find the depth. They add 300 mm in that because it will fail in shear, they will say. But what I have done, I have checked initially I have calculated depth using one-way shear only first. Then I am checking whether that much of depth is adequate or not. Like this. Any questions here? This much has been done in the previous class, previous 4-5 hours. We have completed 4 steps. 4 you can see here. 4 means 7 plus 6, 13, plus 9, 22, plus 4, 26 marks out of 40 is already over. 26 out of 40 marks is over. Okay. Now today we shall discuss step 5, reinforcement in the longitudinal direction. Steel for hugging moment at the center. Steel for sagging moment near the columns. See, in order to understand this one, you should look at bending moment diagram. Okay. So step 5, step 6 and step 7. 3 more steps are left. So today I will be able to complete this design, and some time will be given for you for discussion. You can raise any questions, any doubts are there. So let us start with reinforcement in the longitudinal direction. Now if you see this one, step 5 is longitudinal direction, step 6 is reinforcement in the transverse direction. Then sketch the details of reinforcement for 3 marks. So total it is 40 marks. So let us see this here. Now what you should understand, whenever there is a hogging moment, just observe this. Whenever there is a hogging moment, steel will be, means the tension zone will be above the neutral axis, as in case of cantilevers. For sagging moment, the tension zone will be below the neutral axis. You have to be careful about this. Positioning of reinforcement is very important. That I will show you here. So let us see this. So step number 5, reinforcement in the longitudinal direction. Let us see that one. Let us see, I'll draw one figure here. Step number 5, I'll draw one figure, observe here. Just observe this figure. So when I say steel in the longitudinal direction, means along the length we need to provide the reinforcement, main reinforcement. You can see this figure. So this is your bending moment diagram I am drawing here. I'll just check this one here, whether the sign conventions you can see this bending moment diagram here. Okay, I'll draw this figure now. Just observe this. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, now you see this one, somewhere here the bending moment is maximum. Okay, this value is more than the sagging moment under column C1 and under column C2. So what I will do is, I'll go to that there only. I'll draw this figure. Corresponding to that step only, I'll draw that figure. Just observe this. This step is also completed. Punching step 5 is we are here now. So what I will do is, you just observe this for hogging moment. I have calculated maximum bending moment, the value of which is 351.82. Since service loads were acting on the footing, I have multiplied it by 1.5. Now the value is, when you want to calculate the reinforcement, factored moment should be taken. In the examination, the students are committing mistake here only. They are calculating steel with respect to unfactored moment, which is 351.82. That will give you lesser reinforcement. But if you calculate factored moment corresponding to 526.8, if you calculate the reinforcement, it will be higher. Higher means it is normal. Otherwise, you will lose marks here if you use this 350. So a lot of things, unless you practice, you cannot follow all this. You need. I'll give you one problem today. Okay, just observe this. What I have done here, I'll draw the figure instead of I'll draw the figure here only. Are you able to see this one? Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So AST1, I'll tell you what is AST1 and AST2. AST1 is 0.5 FCK by Fy into bracket 1 minus square root of 1 minus RU. You can use mu or RU, whatever. Now, this RU is written here. What I'm trying to say here is, you have to calculate RU separately. RU is here. So this is 0.5 FCK divided by Fy, sorry, into bracket 1 minus square root of 1 minus RU. I think you have used this formula a number of times in 5th semester subject. In RCCA, I have used this formula a number of times. Okay. Now, what you should do here is, if either use SP16 here, which is best method. I'll tell you. I'll explain that method also. Whenever you are calculating AST, always refer SP16 book. Otherwise, you have to use this formula. So this formula is going to take more time. It means you should be familiar with both the methods. You should be able to use this. You should be able to use SP16 to find AST value. Now what I have done is MU. See this. RU is equal to, that is, first I will start with RU calculation. I will not substitute all values in this formula directly. First separately calculate RU, which is 4.6 mu by FCK BD square. In this case, what you should do, one more trick that can be used if you are not familiar with SP16, but I would suggest you should learn SP16 calculations for this subject. Usually what I did in 5th semester, FCK I calculated separately. FCK was calculated separately, because here also you can see FCK is there. I need FCK value here as well as here. Here what I will do, once I find FCK I'll multiply one more times D, whatever D is there, 680. So first find out FCK then substitute all that here. So let us say FCK value is, let us say, X, capital X. So that X here into one more D, it will give you this value. And that X itself, which is FCK can be kept here. Like this, calculate RU, and you can see this. What I have done, what is important here is B and D. Observe here. B is 2000. This is very important. B is 2000 here because capital B, width of footing, is 2000. So B is equal to 2000, small d is equal to 680. I think you know where I got it. So 680 depth calculation, previous steps. So these two are important. 2680, this is factored moment. Substitute all this, you end up with RU is equal to 0.131. This should be substituted here. Now I'm getting RU 0.31. RU I got it as 0.31. Then I substituted in this formula all the other relevant values. So 32771.1 into 0.068. This is just a calculation here. It is just a calculation. Entire thing, that is, this entire thing is this one, 0.068 is this. You should have some idea about how much is this value. 1 minus square root of 1 minus RU. Some rough idea should be there for that. Only it will come only by practice. If we cannot solve any problems, if you just go on watching this video lecture, nothing will happen. You have to solve and you have to submit 1 or 2 assignments here. Now what will happen is, once you find this AST1, which is 2228.4, immediately it should check whether is it more than the minimum value. Immediately you should check this. AST minimum is 0.12% of gross area. Observe here. Using factored bending moment, I am able to find out, because this is factored bending moment. Using factored bending moment, I am able to find the AST value. So this AST value should not be less than AST minimum. So 0.12 by 100 means 0.12% of gross area. Gross area is, again be careful here, this is 2000 capital B into total D. If you want, I'll write it here, just observe. This is capital B, 740 is capital D, small d is 680. So when you calculate AST minimum, you should use capital B and capital D in this way. You should not use 680 here. So I got 1776 mm square. Now I have to compare these two values. So 2228.4, 1776. That is, now you can see bending moment, factored bending moment related AST is higher than the minimum. I am going to use the higher of these two. Okay. Now observe. Spacing, usually 16 mm bars are used in case of hogging moment. Usually in case of footing, try to use 16 mm bar. There is no condition like that, but 16 mm bars are preferred. Now observe here, spacing of 16 mm bars. So when you find the spacing 1000 AST by capital AST, usually in RCC that we have studied, 1000 AST, area of one bar divided by total AST, total steel required. But here you just observe this. One more important observation is, here you should not use 1000. You should use the width, whatever width is there. B is the width that must be used for finding spacing of the bars. Normally, here also students are committing mistakes. Normally they think this is 1000. That is what we studied in design of slabs. Here 2000 should be taken. 2000 means width of the footing should be taken. If it is width is different, whatever width is there, here it is 2000. So 180.36, say 180 mm center to center. Now observe how to place this reinforcement. How to place it. Now observe this line. Okay. Point 1 and point 2 are points of contraflexure. So this is very important here, because of this reason, see this. Because of this reason, this is very important. Observe. I'll draw this. I'll draw this bending moment diagram. Observe here. Okay. Now I know that this is highest, maximum is here, which is more than the bending moment that is under column C1, under column C2. I think you remember this. C1, C2, and this one. This is maximum bending moment. Now what I have done is corresponding to maximum bending moment, which is hogging, I have calculated the reinforcement 16 mm bars at 180 center to center. It means, as I told you, in case of hogging, the tension zone will be above the neutral axis. So what I have done here is, because of this, I am providing corresponding to this bending moment reinforcement here, like this. Actually, I should provide it in between the points of contraflexure. It is enough. But what I have done, beyond the points of contraflexure, it is extended by a value which is, we call it as development length, 50 times the diameter, like that. It means actually the theoretical point of cutoff is 1 and 2. I can provide steel only in this zone, only between the points of contraflexure. But for development length criteria, I should go beyond this on this side, like this. So this is what is done here. Final diagram also I will show. Finally, when we draw this entire structural detailing, there you will come to know. So this is what we call it as AST1. Is it clear, this one, what I have done? Any questions here? We can see 1 and 2 are points of contraflexure. The examiner should know that, observe here, examiner should know that you have extended the reinforcement beyond the points of contraflexure. That is why you can draw this simple diagram and you can say that this is point of contraflexure, second is here. So this is first point of contraflexure, this is second, and the reinforcement is extended beyond these 2 points. You should convince the examiner about this. That is why this simple diagram tells everything. This diagram tells the whole story here. Specifically, when you draw this figure, use freehand only. But point 1 and 2 are points of contraflexure you should mention. Now observe here, 16 mm diameter at 180 center to center. Imagine the plan of this. Plan of this particular means, when you from the top view, at the top only these bars are there along the width. They are running along the length, but spacing is along the width. 180 mm is along the width. This is the spacing. Again, you should check, when you see 180, spacing should not be more than whatever value that is calculated. This one should not be more than 3 times D. 3 into 680 should not be more than this, or it should not be more than, in any case, 300. So the maximum permissible spacing between 2 bars is 300. It can never be more than this. If this value is, let us say 350, you cannot use 350 because of this condition. Because in any case, the spacing should not be more than 300. Whatever is your calculation, whatever is your formula. So check whether the spacing meets this criteria or not. Observe here. You can see this. So when you finalize this spacing, it should satisfy this criteria. Otherwise, whatever you are getting here, if you cannot use this number, if it is not satisfying this criteria. That is how the design process is carried out. Whenever you calculate a value, check it against the rules given in the code book. Otherwise, there is no meaning in design. Whatever values you are getting and you are saying that this is the spacing I am going to provide, what is the use of referring code books? Now observe this. Important thing here is AST2 I will calculate now. AST2 means steel for sagging moment. Steel for sagging moment. As I told you, if I say moment is sagging, tension zone is below the neutral axis. Now observe this. Approximately what I should do here is, for this moment C1 and C2, this moment I should provide steel somewhere here, AST2, somewhere here and somewhere here. Why? The reason is, you can see the concentration of sagging moment in and around the column 1. Again, concentration of sagging moment in and around the column 2. So near the columns, the moment is sagging, therefore tension zone is below the neutral axis. So in the tension zone, I should provide the reinforcement. Is it clear, this one? Now, how to find this and this, and how to place them? Now what I will do is, at C1, what is the bending moment? I'll write it. At C2, what is the bending moment? I'll write it. Observe here. I'll go back to this diagram. Observe this diagram. Now under C1 it is 18.2, under C2 it is 198. Now what I will do, I will not calculate steel for this moment and this separately. This is very important observation here. Usually what I am supposed to do for economy, I should multiply this by 1.5, find the factored moment, calculate the steel, provide that much of steel under this column C1. Again I should multiply by 1.5 into 198. For that moment, again I should calculate the reinforcement, provide that much of steel below this column C2. This is usually practiced in real life. In real life, to save the quantity of steel, this can be done. But in the examination, it will be a waste of time. In the examination, what will happen? There is no, see, that much of time is not there. Out of these two, whichever is more, use that one. 18.2, 198. Multiply that, whichever is higher, multiply that by 1.5 because I want factored moment. For that value of factored moment, find out AST2. This is what you should do in the examination. But in real life, I will be calculating steel for this value. I'll be calculating steel for this value separately. Then I will provide the reinforcement at appropriate locations. But in the exam, don't do that. Take the higher of these two, multiply that by 1.5. For that value, calculate AST2. Just observe here. Okay. Is it clear, this one? Now what I have done, 198 out of C1 and C2, the bending moment under C2 is more, which is 198 multiplied by 1.5, rest all is same. So 297 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. For this bending moment, calculate AST2, which is in the next page. Observe here. So AST2 is calculated like this. Everything is same. 1 minus square root of 1 minus RU. Here MU is 297 into 10 raised to 6. So RU is 4. This all calculation I don't want to again and again explain this. Just substitute all these values. Again observe here. B is 2000, D is 680. These values are same. Again calculate 1, 2, 4, 5.3. But AST minimum as calculated in the previous step is 1776. 1776. Now when you compare these two, you will find that minimum is more than what your bending moment is giving. Just observe this. Now in this case, what has happened? AST minimum is higher than what the bending moment is giving. AST. That is why this is very important. You cannot use 1, 2, 4, 5 and calculate the reinforcement. Check it for AST minimum. Use whichever is more out of these two. Again use 16 mm bars. Now here, here 1245.3 is lesser than minimum value. That is why 1776 is used. See this here. 1776 is used. 2000 into pi by 4. This is all there. So 226.3. So again check the spacing. What I have written? Spacing is calculated. I got spacing, that is B, that is 1000 into pi by 4 into area of 1 bar, total AST required or AST2 required. Okay. Now 226.3, let us say 220. Again this 220 is checked for specification. Spacing should not be more than 226.3. It is written here. Whatever is given here, I will write it here. It should not be more than 3D. 3 into 680 or should not be more than 3. So whatever value I have selected here, 220, is less than all the three values. Is less than all the three values. So 220 is okay. Now how the reinforcement is provided? See, usually this end should start from point of contraflexure. Usually this end also, but normally what they do, from the center line of the column they go this by development length, from the center line of this column they go inside by development length. I'll show that. Diagram is totally extra knowledge is required for drawing this, positioning the reinforcement. So this is the reinforcement in the longitudinal direction is over. In transverse, one more step is there. So now observe this. Top bar is due to hogging 16 mm. All these three bars are 16 mm only. These two are of same spacing because I have considered same bending moment whichever was higher for calculating the diameter and spacing of these two bars. Because of hogging moment near the column, the rods are provided in the neutral axis, in the tension zone which is below the neutral axis. In case of in case of hogging, the tension zone is, as I told you, above the neutral axis. In case of sagging, the tension zone is below the neutral axis. This is what you should understand here. So in this way, AST1 and AST2 are calculated. Important observation here is, see this one. Sometimes you end up with minimum more than whatever bending moment is giving. This has to be carefully observed in the examination. Usually what student is doing, he will not bother about calculation of AST minimum, directly he uses this steel. That should not happen. If this value is more than this, you can use that. So this is about your, all of you type your USN in the chat box, name, USN and division. Name, USN and division. You in the chat box you type it. Again we'll continue this second session. That will be for 20-25 minutes only. Totally 72 students are there. Any questions are there for this combined footing? So this same PDF I will put it in WhatsApp. Same PDF. And one assignment will be given today. You have to 4 days time will be given. Or by next Monday you should submit it. I'll see first what you do. You go through this solved example. Whatever I have done, using the method that is given, you have to solve the other problem that I'll be giving it. So any questions are there up to step 5? See, regarding the sketch, you don't do it. Still a lot of things you have to learn here. I'm just giving you some idea here. where is the tension zone in case of footings, and how to position the reinforcement. What it means here is, you can see this top bar means in the for hogging moment the spacing will be very less. Only 2 minutes are left here. 16 mm at 180 center to center. See this. See, whereas these two bottom bars, whatever you are seeing, they are for sagging 16 mm at 220. Whereas this one, the reason is the sagging moment is always higher in case of footings. In case of combined footings, invariably sagging moment is, hogging moment is higher than sagging moments. So if I look at the diagram only, I can tell whether the student has done it correctly or wrong method is used. Or for example, if somebody writes here, see, if I see this diagram, I can easily tell whether the attempt is means whether it is correct procedure or not. Vaishnavi, what is the problem? Vaishnavi Patkule.
Attendance.
Somebody has raised the hand. Any questions here? Anybody has got any question here? You need to come back again. It is 2 hours class. Okay. You see this bar I'm telling, this bar. See, if I look at this diagram only, I will understand. Here 16 mm at 220 center to center. What about this bar? What is the spacing? It is 180. Okay. So if I see this diagram, this is the spacing is less, spacing is more here. Okay. Any questions here? So again, you come back. I will complete the